Welcome to another episode of the Overcoming Adversity podcast. I'm your host, Michael Allison. Today's guest is Michelle Lovett. She's a keynote speaker, award-winning actress, four-time best-selling author, publisher of Life, Love, and Lockup. She's also Now TV network channel owner, Meme All Over Yourself production. Michelle, welcome to the show. You've accomplished so much. Welcome.
Thank you. With God, all things are possible. So thank you.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you here, Michelle, because being someone of your stature and your caliber and accomplish so much at such a young age, I believe that it's a testament. I just want to salute you for doing that because not too many people get to say they've accomplished some of these things. But I know that all of this started from somewhere. So if you can, tell us a little bit about your backstory. How did you even get to this level of success where you're at now today?
No problem. And you almost made me cry because I never thought about it like in that perspective. Like seriously, I got really emotional just then. um, I don't know. Well, I was like, I've always been different, right? And so I did the route that everybody says, your parents go to college. And guess what? It took me forever to graduate because I was too busy partying and indulging in other stuff, right? So after I don't know several schools, I was finally my dad was like, "Look, girl, I'm not gonna keep giving you this great life if you don't finish school." Then it hits, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
let me finish, right? So I finished college and I started working in the banking world. And so
Mm,
I guess like a lot of people say, um, I'm known as what they would call an overachiever, maybe, right?
mm.
Because like I started in the banking world and they were like, since you have a degree, we could put you in a leadership role. And I was like, no, I want to start from the bottom. I want to learn everything. And then I'll go for that role. Because I believe, like, how am I going to tell somebody else what to do? And I don't even know how to do it myself. So, in order to be successful, I believe I would have to know, like, ins and out of things, right? So, of course, I could lead somebody to, let's be number one in customer service. Let's be number one in leadership and get all the bank accounts and all that. Okay, that's a given because of my personality. But when it came to the technical side, it would require for me to know every realm and aspect of the bank. So I did that, right? And I enjoyed working there because, of course, you learn a whole lot of things. You know, like, get to know people, puts you into a different perspective of life. But 2009, my mom passed and she passed unexpectedly basically, and I tell people, I know a lot of people are waiting for me to come out with my, I guess as you would call it, personal book, in which I've decided to do that, and I'm giving out these notes while I'm answering your questions. I decided to do that right in this year, and I'll do it like in a series aspect of it, right?
Mm.
But yeah, well, my mom passed, and it just really took me to a place, a low place. I'm the baby of my family, and in fact, me and my one of my siblings were like 13 years apart. Um, she's like known as the knee baby. So and I said that to say like they didn't really live in the house with us, so it was just really me, my mom, my dad, right? So I just had a strong connection with my parents. I mean, my dad would take me to the carnival and stuff. I ain't going out with no friends, okay? So, so I just was very close to my parents, and my mom passing just really, I mean, total shock and depressed and just made me so sad. And so I went through a lot of stages while going through that, right? Um and I said, okay, yeah, at this point I have to not work anymore. Because I remember going to work one day and sitting at a light, and next thing I know, I'm hitting a truck. And so, because and that's based on you not getting any sleep at night, um, things heavy on your mind and everything like that. Um, and then the very next year, my brother, they say died, I say killed. So,
Oh,
hey,
wow.
okay, of his wife for 20 years. So all of that was just a lot for me. Um, and it just drove me to say, um, in that same year, the doctors tell me I need to have a total hysterectomy. Because one day I was at work and I just passed out.
Wow.
Um, but so we're talking 2 year span right now. And then on the third year, they say, oh no, we kind of made a mistake. I don't know how you do that, but okay. Uh, you actually have lupus. And I'm like, what is lupus? Yeah, I've been through it. Okay. So with all of that going on, um, I started to try to figure out what can I do to get myself back on track.
Hmm.
Um, and so I've always been involved in acting. If you go to a Baptist church or whatever when you're little, I think you'll be involved in some acting during Easter plays or Christmas
Even
plays or
right. Yeah.
so I said, let me just go back to that. And so I started to do acting, and I actually would go for the roles that kind of matched my life or the things that I had went through in
Hmm.
order to bring the characters to life.
Hmm.
And that's what actually stemmed me when I was writing um, several books. My topics came from my life. So my volume two is like my pain became my character
Hmm.
because I would take my pain and I would just act it out on stage.
Hmm.
So I just started doing a lot of different things because I knew that would bring me back to who I really was.
Hmm.
Now, life didn't stop though. Um, after all those disappointments, I was called one day, and my dad's battling his cancer, and and thank God he's still here with me today. But it motivated me to do even more then. Um, and then my sister that I was telling you about, 13 years apart,
Yeah.
she passed, and then like another year later or two, my last brother passed. So all of these deaths, I know death is for certain, like taxes. I get all of that, but we're talking how does it affect a human being, right? And so it can negatively impact you, and that's what it did for me. But I knew that if I stayed busy and used my creative image of my mind, I could get through these things, prayer first.
Wow. Well, I gotta say, first and foremost, condolences to you, man, because I've interviewed a lot of people, and I've interviewed people that has experienced death, suicide, and a lot of things in their lives. You just listed to me, I want to say one, two, three, four, about five deaths in your family, back to back to back to back to back. And I can imagine how hard that is, especially when it's people that are close to you,
Right,
close to you.
right,
Wow, wow, wow. So, being someone experiencing some of these things, I imagine that you're trying to like continue with your career, you're trying to continue with your craft, and it sounded like you're pursuing like your dreams and all those things and trying to live it out in a certain way. But I'm asking you this question to kind of like share with our audience, right? But when you go back home and you're Michelle back in your house and you're there, how does one deal with that? How does one handle those types of things to continue to push through and show up as your true authentic self for your world, for your people that's waiting on you, whether it's like your radio show, your TV show, your audience, your books, and all these different types of things? How do you manage and deal with that?
that's a good question, because let me tell you, it's hard.
Hmm.
um and I know, I'm glad you asked this, because I definitely like to help people no matter what when I get on these podcasts or radio shows, whatever, and I keep it real.
Hmm.
So it's hard to deal with it because, let me use myself for an example. I come from a family that, first of all, they may tell you to go to college, but out of all my mother's daughters, I'm like the only one that graduated, right?
Right.
Now my brothers, they graduated everything. Um, and I'm definitely the only one in my family to have best-selling books, to have a TV channel, to do acting. And I'm saying this because here's the deal. I could very well be like, well, no one in my family does it. And because you faces a lot of challenges with that because you experience a lot of gatekeepers out here in the world or society. And so where you would be trying to reach for your family to help you, you really can't. And you really can't even blame them because they don't know really that lane, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so and so doing this and that in my career, it shapes me, you know what I mean? It has formed me to be a particular person. So I want the world to know this, and that's why I'm sharing this. And so when you're around your family, and I'm telling you, I've gotten this, like you she thinks she all that what she got going on, she telling lies, but whatever. And it's only that when you are saying the truth and they don't want to face their truth.
Mm,
Or it's only that when you I know who I am, right? I won't allow nobody to make me think, oh, you're not this, you're not that. Because God has already put it in my mind and my heart exactly who I am. And so I deal with it by, I'm being honest, not going around them. Like
mm,
I was just, to be honest, um, I was just thinking about this last night because for me, I do have family members that they do know certain things about. Now they might not be rocking in this lane that I'm in, right? But they do know or understand business.
mhm,
And because I'm the baby, or because they think that they've arrived, right?
mhm.
And you just listed all my accolades. They could never list those accolades to me. Man, you should see the treatment sometimes. So the best way to handle it, and I'm being real, I've never expressed this, worldwide. I just stay away from it. It's best for me, um, because otherwise I find myself going back down that depression road. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Yeah.
determined not to allow them to do that to me. And it's sad, but you've heard the term, I know, or the saying before that your family or your friends will be your least supporters, right?
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, and so it's truth in that. So for me, I learned to stay away from it. I embrace those who embrace me, and then I just keep going.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I think that would be quite beneficial for some of our listeners where that may be maybe stuck in a rut or just not or have a little bit of confidence in regards to like how to deal with certain types of situation like that. So I think your authenticity and just like speaking your truth will be totally appreciated from that. I want to touch on something here before we transition a little bit into the business aspects of things that you have going on, because you said something that I thought was very, very important when it comes to leadership. And
Yeah.
when you said you was working at the bank, you said you rather start at the bottom before you get all the way to the top. And I thought
Hmm.
that was so important for business leaders or for people that are in leadership position. And it's kind of like to the saying, someone can't tell you something unless they walk the mile in your shoes or anything like that. And you've had that experience. Can you speak towards that leadership attribute that you've developed within yourself? Where did that come from for you to say, let me learn something before I get out here and start telling anybody anything or everything that I have not even accomplished myself or anything like that?
Well, I just basically been like that all my life, but I will contribute to my parents.
Mhm.
I saw my mom, who wasn't a high school graduate till later on in her life. I saw my mom get it out the mud. I saw my mom make more money than some people that at that time had degrees and stuff like that because she actually used her gifts. Her she could make hats, she could bake, she was a teacher, right? At this time, I mean, without a degree, she was a paraprofessional. I think that's what they call them. And she did her very best at that. And these people would just always encourage her to go ahead and be a teacher, you
Hmm.
know. And of course, that would require my mom to go back and get her high school diploma, then go and get you some college education. And guess what? My mom did just that. I watched my dad, um, you know, climb up the ranks in different things that he did. Now, my dad, he was a retired military master sergeant. Yeah, he was the it factor basically. you know, but he worked a million jobs after he was retired. And so the crazy thing is people now this part here probably don't relate to his question audience, but I'm gonna throw it in there throughout the entire interview. I'm gonna just throw things in there so y'all can catch it. Now, his he had to work a million jobs, right, to make ends meet because he had married my mom, who had already had previously 4 children, right?
Hmm.
So then they got conceived me. Dad's like, oh wow, I got to really go to work.
Right,
And my
right.
dad came from humble beginnings. That's the best way they say it these days. he, he comes from like the country, Sylvester, Georgia. There's one light, whatever, and in their town. And he just learned early on that he had to put in work in order to reap the benefits. And so me seeing that, Mr. Michael, for a long time, my dad, him and my mom made me work. Like even as like a little girl, they would be like, yeah, their friend owned a daycare. So they would be like, yeah, going over there. And I'm like, but I'm a kid myself. But they calling it work.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember I was about 15, and my parents made me start working at Baskin Robbins.
Mm.
And I still had to maintain good grades. And when I say good grades, I'm not talking about the good grades they talk about these days. I'm talking about the A's and B's, okay?
Right, right,
And sometimes I get rid of them B's,
right.
and still do. I was the captain of the dance line, president of the Afro Heritage Club. I was just really involved. And so for me, leadership was a given by the time I got in my adult life. I knew, and I believe in, like I said, get it out the mud, because then when the wins come, you can truly celebrate the win.
Wow. I love the fact that your dad was in the service, so salute to him. The next thing you said that really resonates with me is you said he had a million jobs, and as soon as he said that, I thought about my dad. I don't know if your dad's from the Caribbean, but if you ever hear a lot of stories about Jamaicans, like they have like 100 jobs.
Yeah, people used to pick at my dad all the time. No, he's from Sylvester, Georgia. Like no one knows where that is, right? But it's by Albany, Georgia. And but yeah, no, they used to pick at him and say, "You man, your daddy like a Jamaican for real." And they say it about me now. So I mean, so I get it. Yeah, I've heard that.
Wow, wow, wow. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we have some family that is from that area. I know my wife, her dad is from Pelham, Georgia. I'm not sure if that's close by
That's close
there.
by.
Okay, all right, but I know that's where he's from.
They're
So,
like down the street from each other.
so speaking of multiple jobs and the business space, you're someone that has become a serial entrepreneur, right? So you've gotten out of mud and you've dibbled and dabbled in quite a few different things and been successful in each pocket that you've been in. Can you speak towards your progression as an entrepreneur in regards to like some of the things that you started, some of the things that you've done, some of the things that you've accomplished? And then if you could share in between that, what were some of the challenges or barriers that you had to face to accomplish some of the things that you had to accomplish to still be successful on that path?
Great question. um, so for me, my mind works all the time. I'm like, this is not funny. I don't know if it's a Virgo thing or DNA thing. I don't know what's going on. But that mind works all the time. It's constantly going. And so I said that to say I always want to do a lot of things. And my dad I can imagine if my mom was here what she would say. But my dad is always telling me, you have to complete one thing and then go to the next, get it really good and going, and then go to the next. But I'm a millennium, like, and I don't listen. Well, I don't listen to that. Um, I could actually not make $1, and
Mm,
I'll just keep going
mm,
because in my mind, I'm going to do everything that my mind tells me to do that I think is great. I'm going to do it. I
mm,
had no clue where I would be concerning books. I never wrote a book before, right? And so when the opportunity presented itself, I said to the person, look, that's cool. And actually, I'm gonna have to get back with you because I think that the night before, this is a transparent moment. The night before, I was basically in that same area, Albany, and got in an altercation with some people. I mean, I was just chilling in the Waffle House. I don't know, but they were like all over the place, and I'm like, I'm not gonna let nobody hurt me, so I'm protecting myself. So, I'm just saying because but there's a lot of times people are entrepreneurs or in business, and we're just always talking about the good, 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 and never the bad. But there's like bad times too. And
right.
so, but I told the guy that presented the opportunity, I was like, listen, I do want to do this but I want to go and help other people do it. So I want to share my opportunity. And they were blown away from it. They're like, yeah, but it's for you and you can get the money and da 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 da. Like, yeah, I know, but that's okay. I need to share this opportunity. And I didn't know why that was happening or why was I saying that, right? But God always knows. And that scripture is so true. He knows the plans for our life. And so um I started doing the books and I understood numbers because of, I guess, my journey.
Mhm.
And you can show me how to do this and that one time. I'll put my spin on it and I keep going. So that's how that happened with the books. And it made sense to me that if we write a book, we need to do a documentary because not everybody reads.
Right.
So let's be able to reach all, like the entire audiences. So some people watch TV, some people want to read. Okay, let's do both,
Mhm.
right? Um, and then I could put my acting hat back on, and that gives me a chance to be an executive producer. So I mean, I started connecting the dots just like that.
Mhm.
Um, then everybody was putting things on Amazon Prime, so I did that. But again, I'm different. And I said, wait, 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 wait. It's got to be an opportunity for me to go get my own channel,
Mhm.
right? And so during the pandemic, I had lots of time to think. Okay. And I went and invested in a TV channel on the Now Network. So I
Mm.
have my TV channel, which is called Mimi, Meme, Allover, Mimi All Over Productions channel,
Mhm.
right? And
Right.
everything that I do, I just keep that name. And people always like, Michelle, oh my God, where you come up with that name? I'm like, because can't you see I'm all over for real? So yeah, we gonna do this, right? And the crazy part is that I be so for real. And, people are looking at me like, you know, because they're looking for this particular answer, and I'm giving authenticity. I'm all over. Name the company all over. That's it. So I started doing that, and but you know what? I missed this. I missed a step. So after my mom's death and all those deaths, I started doing acting, right? And then when they told me I had lupus, I joined with a couple of people and with this company called Total Life Changes. And
Mhm.
I'm being honest, I don't know, I can't speak on whatever they have going on now because I don't deal with it. But at that time, their products helped me to transition myself from wanting to drink all the time, smoke or anything else. I started taking these health products, right? And I got up for real. And I
Mhm.
pushed back from all the craziness. So I started, I became a director in that. See, it's like I can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna stay in one spot.
Mhm.
I'll start from the bottom, but I gotta get on up there to the top.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? That's how I think. So
Mhm.
I did that, and even throughout the pandemic, I picked up the channel, right? But I love weave, okay, we hair weave.
Right, right.
So it bothered me that not only I couldn't get in the store, other people couldn't get in the stores. So I went and I got an online beauty supply store. Okay. These folks
What?
were like, what is Mimi doing now? I just, because I'm like, we can't do nothing. We stuck, and I'm so busy looking out my window thinking helicopters out there to come get me or something. I don't know. So I got to keep myself busy, right? I mean, seriously. So I started doing that. In addition to my books, we wrote a book, volume 3, I think it was. Yeah, Appointed Angels throughout the pandemic.
Mhm.
And was very successful with that as well. So I do all these different things. I mean, seriously, one day I feel that something will something will jump off, and it'll make me this millionaire or whatever. But mainly, I'm at a point where I can truly say to people that if God never does anything else, he's done enough for me.
Mhm.
I've met some extraordinary people in business, lots and lots and lots of celebrities. I've been places people only dream of going. I just did the Super Bowl where me and my company covered and the red carpet for the gospel celebration. And I looked on Instagram the other day, and Willie Moore Jr. had me on there, where I did his interview. So, I'm living out my dreams, man. I'm just like, I work a lot, but because I know it's in me, and whatever's in me got to come out. So
Right, right, right.
that's what I'm on. I last year got in a really bad car accident. Oh my
Mm.
God. And I broke my ankle and my foot in 4 different places. So that made me stay in the bed. But from my bed, I created a lip line. So it's called Lip Service. And we're getting ready to actually reveal it and everything in probably in a couple months here. But I did what they call the soft launch from the bed and received so many. And so I thank everybody. So many sales, and people see this product and they're like, "Oh my God!" So it's contributed to like vegan free, cruelty free. I make sure it's good for people that have lupus and stuff like that. And you can all imagine I'm working on more stuff because I can't find no makeup to get these dark spots around my eyes that happen sometimes. I got to get on that too. I just have to do it. I mean, do it for the ones that can't do it. That's how I believe in it.
I I love it. I want to unpack something here because you've been in different industries, but I could see the progression, whether it was from the books, whether it was to the movies, and it seems like you're learning as you're doing it, right? Like you learn how or figure out the structures of how to write a book and put a book together, and then from there you decided to say, all right, I want to put this into a movie where it could be visually seen. Can you talk about when you said you was going to do that? What were some of the challenges that you had to go through with, but with like even writing a book? So there's some people out there that can't even write a book, don't even know how to structure a book, don't even know how to put it on a website, get book covers, get designs, or any of those things. For the listeners that's listening, can you help maybe give them the quick backstory of how to, like you even said, let me write one book. You've put out many books, so you just one book for that iteration of what you created with being an author.
Okay, so publishers don't get mad at me, right? Because see, I believe in for real, not gatekeeping. I'm gonna give you the whole tea. So here it is. Let's drink some tea. Right. You don't have to know how to write a book. You just write. And people ask me all the time, "Are you sure, Michelle?" Yeah, because you go find you a great editor, they'll put it all together for you.
Mm,
The editor and the publisher together work together hand in hand to create your book for you. So I tell people, honey, just write.
mm,
What you writing about? You almost killed yourself? Okay. What was the steps? That's the hard part because as you're writing, you're reliving what you're writing.
mm.
My sisters really didn't care for me, and it was a secret. But as time went on, I could see this. Throughout my success, I really saw that. There's a tea and a tip. Y'all heard it on Michael Allison's show because that will be in my book coming up. Like, seriously, how do I really say, where's the buts, the ands, and the who's, the what? No worries.
Don't
Just
worry about
write.
it.
The editor and the publisher gets that together, right? The hard part is you reliving what you're writing. Um, and for me, I think book covers come from just your thought process on what you're writing. I knew that my series, right, it's called Life, Love, and Lockup. Um, well, one, I didn't want no one to get it confused with there's a show on TV that's something about lockup. I can't remember what it is, but life after lockup or something like that. But anyway, it kind of looks like my first book, and I'm gonna tell you what goes on with that. Neither one of us could sue each other because actually they both dropped at the same time.
Oh, really?
Maybe mine was just like a couple of seconds before, and we had no clue about each other, right?
Mm,
So um because I had started Life Level Lockup before writing the books, right? So this is proven. I used to I used to get cameras and film it like in my house because I would be like, you know what? I'm watching these movies. I got a big house. This is like what they dream of. They go and pay money to film in houses like, child, come on, we're gonna do it like that. That's how I started. Because at first I was going to do it as a reality show. The people that came to do the filming, they were like, no, everybody's story is boring except yours, Michelle. And so I'm a winner. I don't play those games.
mhm.
Okay. So I just waited. And that's what we have to do a lot of time in business, delayed gratification. Even though a lot of times we're like, I don't want to wait. Or we think as entrepreneurs, somebody gonna steal my idea. Da, da, da. You got to be comfortable with who you are. You have to be comfortable with your ideas because I'm telling you, I've been carried in a sense. I've had a lot of help. Shout out to one of my coaches, Chuck Brown, Expected in Entertainment. There's a good publisher for you. Although I'm a publisher, you see, we share this world together, right?
Right.
And so, and I get advice from other entrepreneurs on how to move.
Mhm.
I think it's important that people know that because people get afraid to do that.
Wow. So I wanna peel back a little bit from the book Life, Love, and Lockup. You did 4 series. When a reader is about to read this book, is it some of your life, some of your story? Because when I look at the title, I'm thinking this is somebody's life. They were in love with somebody, and somebody probably got locked up somewhere, or there's another twist to the story, or something like that. So when a reader picks up this book or goes out to watch it, what can they expect?
Craziness. No, I'm just playing. No, but really, yeah, craziness. Now, so I went and got other people to share their life stories
Mhm,
along with mine, right?
mhm.
Volume one, I'm going to do a quick rundown for you. Volume one is 10 different women with 10 powerful testimonies,
Wow.
including mine. And in this book is the only volume that I provided, they call it apology in the back of the book, where I just kind of like tell all that's been going on with the project, but
Mhm.
nobody really caught on to it, right? But there's a lot of people. We did that book in 2019, and it's people still reaching out to me. Where are y'all? What are y'all doing? Because I am telling you of the plan I put together. In my mind, if you go into like YouTube or you see it on my channel, or even clippings out there on social media, these I make these women look like, wow, are they in a reality show or uh, are they going to be in a movie? Wait, they just wait. Yeah, and we're best-selling authors. And
Mhm.
so in this book, in this particular volume, you have people that talk about they got locked up for real.
Mhm.
One young lady um, who they I think have an ongoing case right now. They like say she's like a stalker, right? But she's married. But they think she gets involved in other relationships and she stalked these men or whatever, and she's been in jail for it. I mean, it's bizarre because there's no and in my projects you can't lie. Like I will literally embarrass you. You're not writing in the book. You're not listen, because we've encountered that too. Okay. I've encountered where people wake me up out my sleep and they say, look, after they done found out who is writing in the project, don't get their story. They gonna tell lies, and it's this person's story. Oh my God, I've been through it all. You gonna get sued. I'm like, okay, well, let me go get a lawyer then. Okay, whatever. But no, these people's stories are tried and they're true. There's a selective process that I take them through. So trust me, the stories are real. You have one lady in there who she wanted fame and success so bad at any cost. She did anything and everything, mess with this particular man that sold her a damn dream. You know what I'm saying? And you
Mhm.
still ain't get the success or anything like that. Later on in life, you received it on your own because that is an example of you'll get whatever you need to get in God's time. You can't rush nothing. Right. So there's a lot of crazy stories in there. I mean, another one I love a lot is because I never my philosophy is I'm not reading the books because it's to bless other people. And
Mhm.
so, but as time go on, it's like you see these people, and it's like, well, wait a minute, let me go see what they was talking about. It becomes a curiosity thing, right? And so you have one lady on there that she's like, you know what? When I meet a man, I just open up hard. I open my heart up, my legs up. I mean, listen, she said it, not me, right? And because listen, I love the people that keep it real. And then you look at her life, and even in today, um, you know, she's encountered different uh, husbands or whatever. Yeah. And that's a result of you're opening up all of this and that. But baby, are they opening up the same for you?
Mhm.
And so for me, after all of that, and I'm telling you, I had no clue about their stories. I already have the title before I go get the people. And
Mhm.
that book is called We Got Work to Do. And they still have work to do. Hint, hint. Look for it in the future.
Mhm.
Volume two, My Pain Became My Character. I went and got 9 different men to tell their story, including my coach and my father, who finally broke his silence. All these years, people had no clue, but my dad started to have prostate cancer. And he's been dealing with that since 2006. And he's still here. So God is good, right? But
Right.
in this particular book, you have guys that dealt with rape. You have guys that deal with they don't know who they are. Um, they run into issues with their kids' moms. Honey, the list goes on and on. It's a good one. It's a really, really good one.
Sounds like.
Um, yeah. Really good one. Volume three, I dedicated it to my mom. It's called Appointed Angels because as I was coming out of the depression, and even now in today's society, God always reminds me that the scripture is real. There's always a ram in the bush. I call these ladies my godmama. you know, um, they're always there for me, and serve as my mom would have. And so for me, I know that I have appointed angels. We all have them, and it's important for the world to know that. So that was an all woman book. I think it was about 12 or 13 other women sharing their stories. And with that one, I broke it down. You had older women, and then you had younger women, and everybody learned some lessons in that project. Um, and then volume 4, we cracked volume 4 open, all right, but we haven't really got into the meat of it. And here is something for some entrepreneurs, because I had, people that film for me and stuff. Man, look, you wouldn't believe what goes on. You have people coming there, they telling you that they're filming, but they're getting drunk, and then there's nothing, no film
Hmm.
after all this time. So we have to refilm that one, but I'm dying to get that out to the world. Volume 4 is something different. Oh my God, I'm serious. It almost make you say we are reliving Volume 1. The
Mm,
stories are oh, through the roof,
mm.
and
Wow.
so it's our one of our latest projects. It was a bestseller through pre-sales, and we never had that.
Wow.
So I think it's the title, Cracked But Not Damaged, because again, they didn't know who was in it. I went and got the cover. I made it look like Halloweenish type stuff going on, and it's crazy. It was scheduled to come out around that time. But I went through a lupus scare. I was flared up for a long time. And so then my dad, he got sick. Oh man, I thought this particular project would never come forth, but it did. So
Well, they all sound amazing. Now I need a copy so I could make sure that I'm reading it because
I'm gonna send them all to you. How about that?
I appreciate it. Thank you. And I say that it resonates so much. I'm one that always like to learn about people's like adversities and like what are some things that they did, either they're in it or how they got through some of the situations that they've been in. Kind of like how you're telling me, like I've heard similar stories that you kind of the little tidbits that you gave from some of the previous guests and how they got through some of them. And when I think about like resilience and courage in people, man, there's so much that's inside of people that you'll never know until like they actually go through some things, man. So I want to read it because I want to like learn a lot more about like what took place in some of these stories.
Okay, that's exciting. Um, I'm serious. A lot of people tell me that. And then, releasing the documentaries, there was, how I tell you, some people don't want to read, some people rather watch on TV. Okay, well, them writing their story and them telling the story, very different.
Mm,
And you
mm.
see a whole lot of different emotions come out.
Right, right.
I, Listen, after volume 1, I was like, I can produce them all. I got this now. I mean, we didn't know we had to call counselors. I'm serious. We had all these people on standby because I didn't know what to expect. I know for myself, I broke down really, really bad.
Mhm,
Um, and I said that I was going to start filtering out what they would call bloopers.
mhm.
But this was like tried and true moments that I think um where we edited, some people out there would appreciate the authenticity coming from those ladies and myself.
Right. So you decided to get into the beauty industry. On top of books and movies. I do like where when you say like you're like all over and stuff like that, I do find that it's something that's at your core attributed to you though as well. So like it, like the product that you're talking about. You're living it, you're experiencing it. So it totally resonated with you. Can you talk a little bit about the products themselves for our women listeners or guy listeners that want to get something for their moms, their girlfriends, or somebody like that? What are the product lines? So you have hair, you have
Well, I don't. Let me tell you, I let that go,
okay,
right?
okay,
Because I just did it actually for real. It was sincerely from my heart to do it for the people of the society, because we couldn't go into stores, right?
I see, okay.
Right. And but I see myself maybe inching over there soon. Who knows? Because it's like, um, as I release my lip line, I told you I continue to think of other things, right? Um, I think for me, I just made up in my mind. I sell noni juice right now, and products from Partner Co. But I think that it's more important for me to create my own products, right? People are waiting for it. Um, God has already showed me and given me the network, and that saying is true. Your network is your net worth. Um, and so I think for me, it's stay in my lane of creating my own things. But people know I love me a good product because listen, I don't like taking pharmaceutical medicine. Okay, so noni juice has been my all-to go-to. It helped my leg. I didn't, let me think of this thing they like you to say. See, that's why I did have my own products because I don't have time to do all that. But seriously, like I should have had a surgery for my leg, right? And my foot. But I started drinking the noni juice nonstop.
Mhm.
And I'm up. Doctors was like, it's gonna take you like a year before you even get up. I was like, no, sir. Um, in 2 months, I did a stage play on my scooter. I mean, I couldn't walk, but I still did the stage play.
Mhm.
I'm walking now, and so it's a whole miracle. Um, and I'm still going through the challenges with it. But I know that if I drink this product, um, and I do different things holistically, I'm gonna be all right. So it's big for me to tell people, because I just feel like pharmaceutical world, I've gotten enough of my money.
Now, I agree with you. For a while I was on 13 different medications,
Oh my
and
god.
I felt like I was like a zombie or something like that, you know. And it was not until like maybe a couple of years recently that I got off of all medications and on no medications, and I feel like I'm at my best now, at my peak performance, like doing great. And I don't know. I mean, after learning more about a lot of things, there are like different agendas around medications and things like that, in my opinion. But yeah, so I'm all about the holistic and some of the natural benefactors that comes from using like natural things to use and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm big on that. So I feel like once I master, because I'm going to really master this lip line thing, because so many people have told me good results and things, but I feel like I will lean towards that because I've had opportunities from my hometown in Miami to curate my own water and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
So I can see myself in the future going to full throttle with products and stuff. Because the thing is, I too am like you. They had me on everything under the sun, even morphine. And I was like, what? No. Because what happens is it's like a band-aid. And that is it's true what they say. And then later on, then your kidneys start shutting down, heart failure, and all. Nah, I don't have time for all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I want to talk about some of your accomplishments because I was reading here that you're award-winning actress, you're
Yes, sir.
Olympus survival achiever, urban CEO on the rise, and also you just mentioned it, but you got the city proclamation from Florida City. Can you talk about what it was like to receive all of these different various accolades from all of the things that you've accomplished? What does that mean to you?
It means everything. Um, I'm sitting here doing this. I'm sitting here talking to you, and then I'm glance over and I can see all my awards. And I'm telling you, it's too many to name on any bio or anything like that. So that's just like to name a few. But I'm serious. I don't even know. I didn't at this point. I had to stop counting. But what it means to me is that I'm getting the job done,
Mm.
and that's all I want to do. I just want to do my job. I'm just doing me. I'm doing what God gave me to do. And but to be recognized, it's an it's a great feeling. I'm gonna tell you, when I received the proclamation back home, that really took me there. Like I just couldn't believe it. And I don't know if this was sent to you or not, but last year I made history in my hometown because I'm the first one and the youngest one to have a proclamation and the keys to the city. A lot of times people don't know
Wow.
that those two are different, and I have both of them. And so I'm one that look at it like, when the mayor gave it to me, I was like, oh my God, like, oh goodness, I got to really put this to work now. These people are gonna be looking at me, I can't make the wrong move, all of this. And but shout out to Harold as well. It's like he cracked me up when he was like breaking it down. He was like, look, a lot of times people think I got the keys to the city. I can drive fast as I want, and I get all these speed tickets taken away and all this stuff. And I mean, I was just cracking up. But and it does not mean that. Um, but what it does mean is that you are a productive citizen. You will go out the way to help others, and you're actually putting in the work. That's why, like a lot of times, people it's like a trend thing they got going on where you're getting all these different doctorates or honorary degrees and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't think it's nothing wrong with it because people are getting recognized, but I just like to stay in my lane of, yeah, let me go over here. The proclamation did the keys. Thank you very much. I'm good. I'm good. You know, I don't want to be a part of something that they got a whole cult going. Like this is crazy. But so it means a lot to me. Let me tell you this. Last year I went back to my hometown. No one asked me to do it. In fact, my dad thought I was insane for it. Uh, I came up with an award show. This is the third year this year. The very first year, I did it in 3 weeks in Atlanta, Georgia. And I recognized so many people and everything. And oh my God, this event probably cost me 14,000 or more, like dead serious. And you're never gonna recoup that kind of money, right? Back. But it was important to me to recognize people that was really putting in the work and not based on popularity or association. A lot of times these people are walking in the door because I know so and so, not because so and so really did the work.
Hmm.
So to be honored at my award show, you have to really put in the work.
Hmm.
And I do it globally. So it's grown each year. Our first year we had over 200 people. Last year we had over 300 some people. So I just know that it will continue to grow. I took that same concept and I went down to my hometown and I did it there. But there I recognized more of leaders in the community, people of the arts, a lot of young people that I saw doing great work in the community. I also was able to bring a lot of celebrities with me because of what I do. Come on, friend. These people gonna really look at you. And listen, the good part about it, Michael, I'll tell you, I never said this in front of nobody, but a lot of times people have a big name or they're known for this and that movie or whatever, whatever, but they're never appreciated on the level that they should be appreciated on.
Hmm.
I chose to use my own money.
Hmm.
I flew them out. I put them in hotels. I took care of them every day, ate good, everything else. And guess what? Then they returned back to their homes. And I listen, I'm the one to blame everybody. That's why they make y'all pay them now. No more freebies.
Mm.
Yeah. Because it's like, do you know who you are? And this is the kind of treatment you should be getting.
Hmm.
Because based on your name, I guarantee you higher ups are getting that treatment. But you
Right.
don't want to put in the work.
Right. Right.
And also throughout my book sales, a lot of times, because especially selling, I don't know if you know this, but we're also known because we sell over 1,000 copies before 30 days in each volume, right? It's mandatory. Like we hit the streets doing it, right?
Hmm.
And that's not including ebooks. That's just pre-sales.
Hmm.
But I take my portion of the money and I give out scholarships. The first year I went back home and I awarded all of the kids that were graduating. Everybody's looking at me crazy. I'm like, my dad said, "These people think you're a millionaire, girl." I'm like, no. I mean, I just sacrifice, I don't go and get the red bottoms and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with people that do it now. Don't get me wrong. I just want to take care of other people.
Hmm.
That's who I am. And even throughout COVID, I did the same thing. And then I just started doing it where I would go to restaurants. I look up certain people. I'm serious on Instagram or Facebook. And they would have no clue. I walk in wherever city I was in and just start blessing the graduates at their table. And I would do it. It was so crazy. I should have had cameras follow me. I would like do it where I'm just like, "Hey, excuse me, what are y'all celebrating? Oh, I got something for you." And I just bless them.
Wow. Yo, that is amazing, and that shows a lot about your character. That shows a lot about your heart. I think that plays to the fact of your leadership too, as well, because it shows a lot about your leadership attributes, which is kind of like something that we alluded to earlier. I also saw that you take what you're doing with like all your philanthropic initiatives a little bit further, because I see that you donate for Thanksgiving and you donate for Christmas that you didn't even talk about. You're donating back to kids, back in the community and stuff like that. Can you talk a little bit about some of those initiatives that you've done?
Yes. I don't talk about it because I don't do it for that reason. But I know people tell me all the time, they're like, "Michelle, you get the philanthropy of the year and all this." I'm like, "No, I'm okay." So Thanksgiving time, I give back to one of my friends in Augusta, Georgia, who has a business or a nonprofit. It's called Butterflies Are Blue, or Blue Butterflies, one of them. I can't remember, but her name is Shantae. And Shantae Bradley, and she does a whole lot in the community of Richmond County. And so they always know, hit me up. She gonna send a donation. Even in my hardest times, we talk about that before too, that, entrepreneurs, you don't always have a good times or good years, but nevertheless, I still make sure that this is done. Um, Christmas time, I send money to my hometown. Um, I send it to my church, or I send it to a daycare, and I like, buy the kids bikes and stuff like that. I don't have kids, and so for me, it's just like I just want to be a blessing to people. I've done things here in Atlanta where in the middle of the night, I don't know what's wrong with me. Seriously, in the middle of the night, I get up and I have clothes that have tags on it. I've never worn, and everybody knows I got that wardrobe up point. But I take this stuff and I go downtown Atlanta where I probably could get hurt, but I'm not afraid because I understand and I'm walking out on faith.
Hmm.
I'll get even my bed stuff, and I'll take it downtown, drop it off to the homeless people. I'm just like that. I don't know.
Damn.
It's just important because for me, it's like I can have the least amount of things, but if I can help somebody along the way, in the words of Martin Luther King, my living won't be in vain.
Wow. Well, Michelle, you truly, truly, truly are living a legacy in the moment. You know what I mean? I think it's totally, totally commendable. Before we get
Thank
ready
you,
to
sir.
wrap up and get out of here, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs, particularly
Well,
particularly women, but definitely overall entrepreneurs that are trying to strive and like learn from some of the things that you learned from or have done within the business?
well, this goes in any lane for any lane. I believe that it's important that you team up with others. I have a oh Lord, I don't stop. I have something that I'm getting ready to start up, but you know what I'm saying? I've been saying it for a while. I've solidified the name and everything. You know, team up, tag, and get a bag. You know what I'm saying? Because you can really, 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 you can really get the bag if you team up. You know, a lot of times we think that it's just got to be self, self, self. But I'm telling you, where there is unity, there is strength. And so, I believe in, you know, you must have you a mentor, you must have you a coach, some people that have already went down the road that you're trying to go through, because see, they can provide you advice on which way to go or which way not to go.
Mhm.
Get you some education behind all that you're doing. I'm not saying that you necessarily have to have a degree, but get you some education, because here's the thing: when you get you some education, I don't care if it's one class in business, you can't touch, you can't go for the craziness then, because you know already what you read, you know how it go. So get your education piece beside it. I'm just getting to this point where um getting new rooms. Man, the new rooms I'm in now, I just be like, wow, the things I can learn. I mean, even just talking to you today, you know. But if you stay around the same people, that saying is true. You have to go ahead and expect the same results. But if you get around some different people and get around some people that's smarter than you, then you can expect to walk into greater doors, greater blessings, then it's like it's all over. Because I mean, like last week I was part of I got honored here in Atlanta as one of the 50 most powerful women.
Wow.
But I'll be honest, I was like, um what's going on here? I mean, I seen all these mayors and I'm like, what's going on here? You know, Dr. Contessa from American Medicine. Seriously, I mean, producer of Steve Harvey show, like all these ladies. And I said, Lord, you are so good. And you know, find it right to put me in the midst of this as well. And so now here are other connections going on. And it's just amazing.
Wow, 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 wow. Congratulations again, because you just told me something new that I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, I've even gotten awards um out there in Virginia. I woke up this morning to another nomination or something. I don't know. It's really getting to the point where I'm like, I don't know. It's a lot. It's really a lot. But you know, I just say that it's the season that I told people about a month ago. I do like these little talks sometime on Instagram, and I was just telling people it's calling season, you know. Um, that call you've been waiting on is on the way. That role that you said you deserve to have, it's on the way. And so as I spoke to the people, I had to say, Michelle, it's calling season for you as well, because I've put in the work. And so I guess I'm in my harvesting season at this point.
Amen. You've talked a good bit throughout your story, throughout this conversation about your faith. Can you talk a little bit about your journey and your blessings that you've shared along the way? How important has your faith been a contributor in your success that you've had now?
Well, like I told you in the beginning, with God, all things are possible. There's
Mm.
no way I could be over here talking to you the type of my life was torn upside down. Like it literally was. I do a stage play all the time. We're doing it again. It's called April the 20th here in Atlanta, and it's called True Love. I continue to do that particular play because everybody always like, why you just do that? Because it fits my life, you
Mm.
know. And I'm being honest. you know, God grace and mercy kept me. God grace and mercy brought me through. Like, it's not just the lingo that I'm sharing with you. I'm telling you that I'm a real testimony. I mean, when you tell somebody that, I've had family members that tell me, look, Michelle, you need to get over it. Cause I said, dang, I woke up, my mom was dead, my brother dead, my sister dead. I'm going down the line. I don't have no more family. What's happening here? The other siblings, we don't even talk. Sometimes death brings burials in families. And so, I said that, and I had a family member tell me, and when you wake up tomorrow, somebody else will be dead, And so that's like the hardest thing for me. And I'm telling you, if I didn't have my faith, if it wasn't strong, because those type of sayings will make your faith shake.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be okay. I've been through a lot that make me test or question, is am I doing it right by serving you, God? Because why are you doing this to me? I don't deserve this. I have real life conversations with the man. And then he'll always remind me that you're gonna be okay. He'll always remind me,
Hey.
look at this right here.
Hey.
Look at God.
Hey.
Another blessing. And
Amen.
so, I have to think about that. Like, yeah, you've had hard times and you still go through. But look at all the things that God has blessed you with. I mean, you even said one yourself when you said, I told you I never thought about it like that, when you're like, and you're so young to have experienced all this stuff, and even like, I'm 47. People always think I'm in my 30s. And I'm serious. I have lupus, and people looking there like, she don't, that's why I tell people I don't know what the doctor's telling me. I have nothing. Like, but I know because of the days that I go through. But I'm just telling you, with God, all things are possible. With Him, you can make it through. My dad and I often say we're almost like Job. Um, we had everything taken away from us, yet God restored us and blessed us 100-fold. So hang in there. It won't always be like this. Better days are coming.
What role or does your principles and values play in your life that keeps you where it's at your like core, at your foundation, that keeps you grounded and just keep on pushing through?
Um, just I think like knowing that in my mind, I got God, but I mean, oftentimes I just be like, I'm all I have, so I have to keep going. I have to stay humble,
Mhm.
um, in order to receive other blessings. I watch other people and their success and stuff, and honestly, I I go from there. I don't know, like, it used to be important for me to have a lot of people around me. Um, these days, it's important for me, in a sense, not to ever have a co-defendant. I mean, mm-mm. You got to walk alone. And even when you're walking alone, you have to know that you're not alone, because God said He will never leave you or forsake you.
Right.
And so, I think that's what has helped me. I just stay grounded, rooted. I stay sharpened. I get around other people that can sharpen my iron, 'cause iron sharpens iron. Um, and just I just stay before God, because I know that this is a cruel world. I know that I may have gotten over certain things, but I know that smart enough to know that you go out one door to go into another one. So just be hopeful and prayerful that you know how to get through that particular door.
Right. Absolutely. So, what are some like future things that you're working on, that you have going on, that you could share with our audience? I know you have a lot of stuff planning. So, what can you share with what you have coming up for yourself?
Well, again, April 20th here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am the lead in the stage play called True Love. June 8th, I will be starting to go on tour with another stage play. It's called Treachery, Lies, and Deceit. So we'll be in Atlanta June 8th. And then in August, the show is in Baltimore. And then we have another show in New York.
Okay.
And I don't have the dates with me, unfortunately, but I'll be able to pass them on to you. Um, I'll have to get ready for my own events. Like I told you, I'm going to reveal my lip line. I'm definitely going to be starting to work on my doing my awards show. Hopefully, prayerfully, I'll get some shorts done before the end of the year. And definitely my book, my personal book is going to drop this year, starting the series because it's a series. And hopefully I'll be able to get two other projects involved, and those two I really can't talk about because we're doing some different things with it. But general bosses and boss status, at least they doing stuff.
So, if anybody wanted to connect with you or reach out to you, how can they find you?
Well, I know y'all all want to, so no, but seriously, on Instagram, you can find me at MEMEALLOVER and the number two, Mimi all over number two. Then once you punch in Mimi all over, you should see all kind of things. Like before it started, Mimi all over production channel, Mimi all over. Generals, bosses, and bossettas. I'm associated with all of that. On Facebook, it's author Michelle Lovett. And definitely you can pull up Life, Love, and Lockup, and you can find me that way as well, or go to my website, www.michellelovett.com. Go on Amazon, type in Life, Love, and Lockup. Hey, find me at the vendings. Listen, anything that's popping globally, because I just don't stay in Atlanta. You gonna find me all over right there, okay? Anything popping, I'm gonna be there. Give me some money, okay?
That's what's up. Hey, Mimi, it's been a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Pleasure to hear your story of overcoming adversity to the life that you're living now to be truly successful and out here blessing the world. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you as a guest.
I've been honored. And listen, we got to stay in touch, okay? I mean, seriously, I got to go now, but I'm going to email you, okay?
Okay, we'll talk.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Ain't complain at all. Couple dollars in my pocket, no income and go. Been working on my body, getting healthier. Thank God for clarity.